Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Game Changer Mentality Podcast. I am your host, Rodney Flowers, bestselling author, keynote speaker, and resilience trainer. And I am very, very, very excited today because I have a special guest here on the Game Changer Mentality Podcast, Mr. Nathan Hirsch, CEO of FreeUp. And I am just delighted to have him here. He's going to tell you his story and what he's doing in the world. He's doing great work. He has a tremendous business, and he's what I would call an ultra entrepreneur. And the reason why I call him that, because the guy's young, he's successful, he's been through some challenges, and here he is making a ton of money, making an impact on the world, making a difference. And he has taken the time to be here with us and share some of his knowledge, share some of his wisdom, as well as let you guys in on what he's doing at FreeUp and how FreeUp can help you. And just to tell you a little bit about Nathan. He started his first e-commerce business out of college in his dorm room, and he sold over $30 million worth of product online. That's amazing. And he's now the CEO and co-founder of FreeUp, which is a marketplace that connects businesses with pre-vetted freelancers in e-commerce, digital marketing, and so much more. So he's appeared on many podcasts before. He's taken the time to be here with us. And so without further ado, Mr. Nathan Hirsch, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Rodney, always great to talk to you. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And just tell the audience a little bit about you, man, and what you're up to.
Yeah, so I started off back in high school. My parents used to always make me get summer jobs. And you have to understand that I went to the high school that my dad taught at, which was a town over from me. And at that high school, everyone's parents were doctors, lawyers, dentists. They were incredibly well off. And my parents were both teachers. So we weren't poor or homeless, but we didn't have what all my other friends had. So I always wanted that. I wanted those PS4s and the nice cars. And I was very driven by money. And during every summer, my parents made me work 40, 50 hours a week at these summer jobs, these internships, while all my friends were out playing. And I hated every second of it. But I learned a ton. I learned everything from sales to customer service to how to manage other people. But I also looked at it as, once I got to college, if I didn't figure out how to build a business while I was in college, I was going to graduate and go right back to that 40-hour-a-week job. And that is what I wanted to avoid. So when I hustled every little thing to make money, and I started this book business out of my college dorm room because I realized that the school bookstore was ripping everybody off, paying back pennies on the dollar. So I opened up this book business. I created a little referral program. And before I knew it, I had clients out the door or students out the door trying to sell me their books, to the point where that was my first glimpse into being an entrepreneur. And from there, books led me to Amazon. I started doing a lot of trial and error. I tried really cool products like video games, computers, outdoors equipment, and I couldn't get anything to sell. And it wasn't until I branched out of my comfort zone and found the baby niche industry that my business took off and really started expanding. Well, from there, I had to start hiring people. And that's really what led me into the remote hiring world, and eventually the idea to come up with a faster way than the Upworks and the Fivers and create FreeUp, which we can talk about later. But that's kind of my story, from a high school kid who always wanted more to a broke college kid to starting two companies.
So I would imagine that there was a lot of challenges and obstacles. I mean, you're in college, and so and I love your entrepreneur spirit. I think that's just amazing. But I would imagine that being in college, most college kids, they don't have a lot of money. They're struggling. They're just trying to get by. And here you are wanting to go start a business. And so what was that like? I mean, what type of mindset did you have to have in order to start that? Because in my mind, that's a little risky to go off in college, because mom and dad is probably saying, hey, graduate, get a good job, whatever, but you have your own goals and dreams. So what was that like to make that decision?
Yeah, so there were a lot of factors. I mean, First of all, my parents were both teachers, so they thought that the correct path was go to college, get a job, work for 40 years. So I'm fighting against that. Although they're very supportive, they definitely were pushing me in that direction. Then you've got, once I create this business, this Amazon business, people didn't really understand it. And people did not understand why I was selling baby products. So I got a lot of weird looks, people thinking I was running a scam, people not really thinking that I had a real job. So I'm kind of fighting it on both angles. And I think one of the things that I learned early on is you just got to block it out, and you just have to focus on what you can focus on. You have to be kind and respectful to other people and give them as much information as possible. But I mean, even today, like with social media, FreeUp is everywhere. You might get someone that says, oh, like, this, great, another freelancer marketplace, what another scam. And you just got to block the person and move on. I mean, there's always going to be the haters, the doubters. You're surrounded by them at all times. So I think very early on, I just got into the mentality on, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. There's going to be failures. Let's focus on the big picture.
So are you doing this by yourself, Nathan? I mean, I think I read in your bio that you're a co-founder of FreeUp. So you have a partner, and how has that been working out? Because sometimes partnerships don't really work out. So how has that helped you in your quest for entrepreneurship?
So one of my first hires on my Amazon business was this guy named Connor. So I hire him, and as soon as he's about to work his first shift, he gives me a call and he says, oh, by the way, I don't have a car. Can you come pick me up? So I'm thinking, oh my God, like what a joke. Who is this guy? But I go and I pick him up, and every day I pick him up and bring him back and forth. And I teach him some data entry work, a little data entry work. But every drive home, he was so curious about the business. He just wanted to know more. He was excited. And it was the first time that someone and I eventually made him my partner in my Amazon business. And when I started FreeUp, he started off part-time with FreeUp because he wanted to start his own blog. He had actually started his other company. We were running the Amazon business together still. And I think he was trying to figure out, hey, do I want to go the VA route? Do I want to start my own thing? And once FreeUp really started to take off and we realized that we were gelling really well for the second time on this business, he dropped all the other stuff and started working on FreeUp.
Wow.
So FreeUp was my baby. I mean, I started it, but he was in for it in the beginning part-time, and within a year, he was doing it full-time. And with the Amazon business, it was me for the first 6 months, 8 months. He was my first hire, and then he became my business partner within another 6 months.
Wow. So I would imagine that FreeUp must have been doing really well for him to drop everything that he was doing and start this full time with you. And so I know the audience is really wondering what the heck is FreeUp. So let's just take the time now just to talk about what is FreeUp. What do you mean by FreeUp? What is this all about?
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, Connor and I just work so well together. He's much more of a long-term, content-driven person. I'm much more of a sales, face, process, customer service type person. So it gels really well. So the whole concept of FreeUp was we were hiring all these freelancers because who was going to work for us? We didn't want to hire more college kids. They weren't reliable. No 30-year-old wanted to come and work for a 20-year-old. So we started hiring freelancers. And we used everything, Upwork, Fiverr, online jobs.
Yeah.
And what we realized was we would post a job, get 50 people to apply, interview them one by one, and it just took forever. And we wanted something faster. So I remember I did 8 straight hours of interviews, and I didn't find one person that I liked. And I actually picked up a chair and I threw it against the wall at our old office, which is not like me. But I was like, there has to be a better way. This is crazy. We need something better. And when we couldn't find it, we built it ourselves. So we get hundreds of applicants every week, freelancers from around the world. We vet them not only for skill, but for attitude and communication as well. Take the top 1%, let them in, make them available to clients like you all around the world, rapid fire whenever they need them. And then we have great 24/7 support on the back end with a no turnover guarantee. If the freelancer quits, we cover all replacement costs. And that rarely happens, but it's there to protect them. So the whole concept of FreeUp is spend less time doing the recruitment and the interviewing and more time growing your business.
And so, I mean, do you guys offer all kinds of freelancers, or is it specific niches, or areas, that you offer for business, or what is your span in terms of freelancers?
So when we first started, we were Amazon sellers. So we created this freelancer Amazon marketplace. And the first year, people liked it. So they told other people in e-commerce. So we're getting Shopify, eBay, Walmart sellers. And from there, they started telling their business network. So now we do marketing agencies and software companies and real estate agents and coaches. So it really went from very niche to now we offer 100 skill sets, freelancers from $5 to $75 an hour, US and non-US, everything from customer service to content writing, graphic design, marketing, web development, you name it.
Wow. And so how has that been going? I mean, how long have you guys been in business now?
This is year 3. We did $1 million in the first year,
Wow.
5 million last year.
Wow.
Right now our run rate's around 9 million. So we've been growing pretty fast.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Nathan Hirsch, CEO and co-founder of FreeUp, an amazing freelance company. If you're just not joining us, and Nathan is what I call an ultra entrepreneur. He's doing really big things in the world, and he has this company called FreeUp. I want you guys to check it out. So Nathan, I mean, what are some of the challenges that you're currently facing right now at FreeUp? I mean, you guys are doing well. You're growing. Sounds like you guys are making a lot of money, but I have to believe that there's some challenges, some type of resistance that you're currently facing right now. What's going on?
Absolutely. I mean, every business, part of being an entrepreneur is every day there's problems, there's issues. It just is a matter of how big or how small they are. So you got 3 sides of FreeUp, right? You got finding clients, finding freelancers, the software that holds it all together. Well, when I first started FreeUp, I didn't really look at us as a software company, which is really what we've become, because when you get to a certain point, people's expectations of what your software is get higher and higher and higher. Not to mention we're competing with the Upworks and the Fivers of the world, and their software budget is way bigger than ours. So not to mention, I'm not a coder. I've dealt with developers a little bit in Amazon because we built our own repricing software, but I mean, this is a totally different animal. It's got to be able to accommodate all different kinds of clients, all different kinds of freelancers. It's a software that monitors time, does billing every week, does even more than that, a referral program, so it links affiliates. There's just so much going on. So it's a constant battle. We have 100 pages of add-ons we want to do to our software, and we're always coming up with new ideas. We're getting feedback from all different angles. So it's a constant struggle of, hey, what do we prioritize? Do we prioritize this 3-month project, 1-week project? Where do things slide in? And I think that's what we're currently figuring out right now.
And so from a mental standpoint, I mean, you're CEO, you're making millions of dollars, and here you are with this challenge. I mean, for a lot of people, if they start making millions of dollars, they will feel like they have arrived, okay? And, challenges that come up, they may not feel as compelled to deal with them. It's like, okay, I've made it here. And I'm sure there was a big mountain to climb as you've explained. So given where you are right now, because you're on another level, if you will, in terms of you making millions of dollars, your company's doing really great. What type of mindset keeps you going, and what type of mindset do you have to have in order to tackle issues like that?
Yeah, so let's take it back to the Amazon business. So we're doubling every year, very, very similar to FreeUp. And this was before the courses, the gurus, the people that were teaching Amazon. So in our mind, we're thinking, oh, this is easy. Like we're just doubling every year. We can not put that much effort into it. Nothing really matters because Amazon is growing. And then boom, all the courses and gurus come out and the business stabilizes. We're not growing every year. And I almost have regrets that we could have done more. I feel like if we had structured it differently, we could have even been those gurus or those courses. We didn't really read the market that well, in my opinion. So with FreeUp, you kind of learn from your mistakes. I mean, we're growing at a rapid pace, but we know that we're just one competitor away from going out there, someone who can offer a better service, even though I do think it's harder to copy than the Amazon business. But so that drives me. Also, the people around us. I mean, one thing that I learned and kind of got out of that mentality of when I was younger and I just wanted money and products and all that is, it's no fun to be alone at top. It's no fun to be alone at the top. I want to grow together, whether it's Connor, whether it's our amazing 30-person team that crushes it for our clients every day. I want to build something that's sustainable for everyone, where everyone continues to rise. And I think that's what motivates me way more now than it did back in the day, where it was much more, hey, how much money can I put into my pocket?
And so with that being said, how is important is learning to you? Because I heard you say that we're still learning and we're executing based on some of the things that we've learned in the past. So, I have this philosophy is that you never stop learning. Everything is a learning experience, and as you go to a higher level and you face challenges, there's still yet something to learn. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, every entrepreneur makes mistakes, right? It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are. There's a lot of mistakes along the way. And really what separates entrepreneurs that I've seen successful, and it's cool with FreeUp, I get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs that I did with my Amazon business.
Sure.
The good ones, they learn from the mistakes. They don't make those same mistakes again. And yet I meet other freelancers, other entrepreneurs, I should say, that continue to fall in that same exact habit over and over and over. And they're not adjusting. They have this mindset of, this is how my business needs to be run. This is where my business is going to be. And they won't let any feedback, lessons, market adjustments, nothing will change that. And they continue to struggle over and over and over. So learning and adjusting and problem solving and putting steps in place to prevent those same things from happening is so important.
That's awesome. And I love what you guys are doing at FreeUp. And this is no disrespect to Upworks and all the other freelance companies that are out there, but you guys are helping entrepreneurs. You're really helping entrepreneurs, and we live, as you know, in the information age, and it seems like a lot of people are starting to get out of the 9-to-5 mentality and really start creating things on their own. Really expressing themselves and the talent that they have, and that requires them starting a business for some people. And how can someone, how can FreeUp be helpful to someone who's just starting out, doesn't really know a lot about business, but have this, just wonderful idea, and they need some help getting off the ground? How can FreeUp be of help to that person?
So hiring is so important. It is key to running a business. They don't teach you how to do it in school, although they should. And it is the difference between success and failure. And we live in an amazing time. The gig economy is booming. Over the next 10 years, over 50% of the workforce is going to be remote. And you don't have to go out and hire someone for $100,000 full time anymore. You can hire people project-based or part-time or for a set amount of hours a week, whatever it is. So you get access to all this talent from all over the world, and you can focus on what I consider low-risk, high-reward situations, because what works for one business doesn't work for every single business. That's why a lot of people that just follow the gurus straight edge without figuring out their own stuff fail. I mean, the gurus are great. They provide information, but you still have to apply it to your own business. So what I mean by low risk, high reward, I just hired someone to run my Twitter, run my Instagram. So how much does that cost me? A few $100 a month. What's the worst case scenario? 3 months goes by, I realize, hey, it's not working, or they tweet something, I delete it, and it cost me $600. I mean, that's pretty low risk. It's about as low risk as you can get. What's the best case scenario? They take it completely off my plate. They're getting leads. I'm getting new clients. I'm growing my brand. I'm growing my presence. So as an entrepreneur, now that you get access to all these freelancers with different skills, you can invest in a lot of low risk, high reward situations. And not all of them will work, but you figure out what works and you put more money into it. When you figure out what doesn't work and you pull back. And never before have you had that ability to just dive in with different talented people from all over the world and figure out what works for your business.
So I would imagine that a lot of entrepreneurs that are hearing this, or perhaps wannabe entrepreneurs that are hearing this, in their minds, they're probably thinking, well, if I hire this person, what if it doesn't work out? I mean, is this person vetted? How good is their work? How do I find out? Like, how do they get that warm and fuzzy, to say that, yeah, this is a good investment? Are these people vetted? Can you explain that a little bit, just to kind of ease the mind of someone who may be thinking that right now?
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time vetting these people, whether it's the skill where we have skill tests, we spend a lot of time developing the attitude, the one-on-one interviews we do to make sure that they care about more than just a paycheck and they're passionate about what they do and they want to help the client's business, to their communication. We have 15 pages of communication best practices that they have to memorize and get tested on. But no one has a 100% hiring record. It just doesn't exist. And there's always going to be a risk. I mean, being an entrepreneur is full of risks, and hiring is no different. Even if you hire your best friend to sit right next to you, or someone that has this huge track record of success that's helped 5 of your friends' businesses grow fast, there's always a chance that it's not the right fit for your business, or that they do something stupid and jeopardize your business in some way. Yeah. But the chances are a lot lower than you think. I mean, just on the security side, I've been hiring for 8 years. I've never had one security issue. FreeUp's been around. We bill over 12,000 hours a week. Never had one serious issue. And I'm sure if we bill enough hours, eventually something will happen. But the percentages are a lot smaller than people think, and you have to be able to take those risks if you want to get to the next level. How many $5 million a year solo entrepreneur or solo businesses do you know?
I don't know many. and I'm happy to know you are doing so well, man. So, how would a person start? I know many wannabe entrepreneurs. I know a lot of people with great ideas, and they want to hire people, and sometimes that stops them. So how does someone get started with FreeUp? Can you explain that process for us?
Yeah, so 2 ways. One, my calendar is right at the top of the website. You can book a free call with me. I'd love to talk to you about your business and how I can help. Second, if you click create a client account, mention this podcast, you get a free $25 credit for signing up. Creating an account takes a minute. Once you have an account, anytime you need a freelancer, click request a freelancer at the top, answer the 8 questions so we know exactly what you're looking for. Takes another minute. And within a business day, we'll introduce you to some options. You can meet with them. We don't even need a payment method unless you want to hire them. And if you like them, you click hire and you're good to go. If you don't like them, you click pass and provide us feedback, and we'll get you someone else based on that feedback. So it's a very fast, rapid fire process. I mean, you've seen it before. We're pretty quick. And that's really what it takes to at least meet people, at least interview people. If you're unsure, you're not ready, there's no harm in just getting that interview experience and seeing what's out there.
I was going to ask you as a question, what differentiates you from Upwork and the other freelance companies? But I just want to share my own personal experience, because one of the things that I noticed whenever I was using your company was that I had a plethora of people that could do the job that I was looking for. And what made it so unique is the contact information was readily available right there, and I could set up appointments with those people, and it was so quick and so easy. And I got on the phone or got on a Zoom call, I interviewed all of them, and I was able to make a conscious decision, an intelligent decision based on those interviews. And for me, the other companies, Upwork and all, I mean, it's just not that seamless, if you will. I mean, I felt like it was harder to set that up, and I felt like there were some restrictions with the communication with the person that you're trying to hire. And so that's my own personal experience. But what about you? What differs you from the other competition out there?
I mean, it's really 4 things. It's the pre-vetting. I mean, anyone can go out and create a Fiverr or an Upwork account and offer their services. We reject 99 out of every 100 applicants we get. So there's a pretty big pre-vetting process. Second is the speed. I challenge any company to be faster in terms of the matching, in terms of the customer service. We have pretty much instant support at almost all times. Not to mention, we have clients who submit requests and get started within hours or minutes of submitting that request. We're pretty fast. On the back end, I mentioned the 24/7 support. So that's 3. And then 4 is our no turnover guarantee. Freelancers in our network rarely quit. It is real life. Of course, it can happen. But if someone does quit on you, we cover all replacement costs and get you a new person right away. So your business never takes a step backwards, and you can sleep better at night knowing that you're protected. A lot of businesses out there are one person quitting away from spending the next 6 months or 3 months in a downward spiral or stalling out, and we never want that to happen with our clients.
That is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Hirsch, CEO and co-founder of FreeUp, an amazing freelance company. Go to the website, freeup.com. Check it out. That's with 3 E's. And, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to hire someone and you don't want the headache of going through that process, or you want more of a seamless process, take it from me, my personal experience, this company is amazing. So what's next for FreeUp? I mean, where are you guys going next? I mean, you guys seem to be at the top right now. It seems like you're really rising. You're competing with the major freelance companies out there. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
So one thing about being an entrepreneur after you've done it for a while is you get pretty numb to the ups and the downs, right? When you're on a down, you don't think your life is over and you think you're going to figure it out. And when you're on an up, you're never satisfied because you know that you're just 1 or 2 things away from going in the other direction. So for us, we haven't given up. We haven't stayed placid. We are going forward, full steam ahead. We're working to partner with other influencers, other partnerships. We have a few partnerships lined up that I can't talk about, but we're incredibly excited about. Hopefully that those end up closing. And we really want to change the hiring industry because we feel like 10 years ago, the hiring industry did change with all these freelancers and freelance marketplaces, but now it's been done the same way over and over and over. And we really want to shake that up. And Connor and I are fully focused on that. One last thought on Connor and I mean, he's much more of a long-term thinker where I'm more focused on what can I do today, this week, to get to the next level. So asking me where I'm going to be in 5 years doesn't usually get a great answer.
Well, what would you say to a young entrepreneur out there that may be, looking to be where you are one day, to have $1 million business, whether it's in freelance or some other industry? I mean, what would you say as an entrepreneur, a seasoned entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, a game-changing entrepreneur, if you will? What would you say to that person?
There's no better time. I mean, I read some article last week, and I'm going to butcher the numbers, but it was something along the lines of like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you needed around $500,000 to start a business. Nowadays, you maybe need a few thousand. My Amazon business, I started with $200. So there's no better time to try out being an entrepreneur. And listen, it's not for everyone. There are days where being an entrepreneur is not as glamorous as it seems. Sometimes there's a Saturday night that you want to be hanging out with your friends and some issue comes up. But there's also a lot of benefit. There's that financial freedom. There's the life freedom. There's the ability to learn and grow and not work for someone else where the money's going into their pocket. So the opportunities are out there. Learn from your mistakes. Try new things. Focus on the low risk, high reward. And I've seen so many people create successful businesses, and sometimes they end up completely different than that original business that they thought they were going to build.
I love that, because sometimes we have the vision in mind, but you have to be flexible in that vision at times, right? Because things change and that allow you to grow and prosper and expand into something that's even better than what you thought before, or enhance your skill set, or either focus in on a particular skill set and allow you to really express that in a mighty way to be, something better than what you thought before. So I love that. And it sounds like that is something that happened to you in your life. And so I really appreciate you for sharing that. So where can people contact you, Nathan? Where can they get in contact with you?
I am incredibly easy to contact, whether it's social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Check out the FreeUp blog. I mentioned my calendar is right at the top of freeup.com with 3 E's if you ever want to book a time with me. And definitely reach out to me. Reach out to my team. You can even book a meeting with Connor. We're there to support you. We want to help you. We want to meet you and get to know you. And that's really what FreeUp is all about.
That is awesome. So Nathan Hirsch, ladies and gentlemen, joining us from FreeUp, CEO and co-founder of FreeUp. That's FreeE.com. Check it out. Man, I want to just thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining us. You are an amazing individual, and I love what you're doing. Just thank you for your presence, man, and keep doing what you're doing. And any last words for the audience?
Correction. So you said FREE.com. It's FREEUP.com. FreeUp.com.
My apologies. FREEUP. FreeUp.com, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So any last words, Nathan?
No, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, have a great rest of the week. I look forward to continuing working with you.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for another episode of Game Changer Mentality podcast. Thank you guys for joining us, and look for us next week as we drop another episode on you of Game Changer Mentality. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.